This is Tom Kane for Racing's Inside Track TV, and this evening I'm delighted to be joined by Sean Murphy at his Ryhill stables here in Monivea, County Galway. Many of you will recognise Sean as the chairman of the Western Breeders Association, but more importantly, Sean, you had a great few weeks there from the turn of the year up to Cheltenham. You're now the breeder of a Cheltenham Festival winner in Flooring Porter. Well done.
Thank you very much, Tom.
It must be some celebrations here. I know with COVID and that we couldn't get too far, but a brilliant few days for yourself and your family. You're breeding for a good number of years here at your farm.
Absolutely. My mum and dad, we were watching it inside in the house there, and a brother-in-law of mine and my grandnephew, and my mum and dad dad's 95 and mum's 90, and mum has always got the rosary beads out, and she was praying and watching, and dad was quietly, he'd be quieter than my mum, and he was just watching it there so tentatively, like, and everything, and it was brilliant. Absolutely, my dad was delighted.
Yeah, it's a brilliant story. Like, everyone aspires to breeding a Grade 1 winner or breeding a festival winner, and you have done both. I suppose if we go back to the start, it's a real Irish breeding story for a relatively small farm, in that you've a great story to tell from how he was bred. Where did the journey start, Sean?
The journey started back in 97 or 98, when there were two thoroughbred mares advertised in the Farmers Journal, and my dad and my brother-in-law and two brother-in-laws went to look at them, and they were down in Clare, and my dad was a shrewd operator, and he liked one of them, but he didn't like the other one. Well, it wasn't that he didn't like her, but he knew the man that was selling them was anxious to sell both, so he played it along, and we came home with the two of them anyway. And Flooring Porter, our granddam, was a Rossaleer mare, and a good few got involved in her then, and we raced her, and we called her miles apart, because all the lads who were involved with her were miles apart, literally.
Very good.
And her best day out was second in a bumper when she was trained by Michael Horrigan.
And then at that point, then you took her to Revoke. I think he was standing in Liam Cashman's at the time in Rathbarry.
Correct, yeah.
And the resulting produce, or one of the resulting produce, was Flooring Porter's dam, Lily Mile, which you also went on then to train yourself in the early days.
That's right. My nephew and myself, my nephew was here with me all the time, Darren Collins, and he had point-to-point licence, and we trained her to win her point-to-point. And I know Pauline very well, because I'd be clerk of the course for the Galway Blazers, and Pauline is secretary. I asked Pauline one day, look, would you like to train her, or do you train anyone's outside your own? She said, I'd love to take her, and she went on and won 2 hurl races in Ballinrobe, and she was placed a couple of times as well. Very
good, and that's Pauline Gavin over in Crowell.
Correct.
And then when she was retired, then you decided to take the trip down to, I think it was Castlehyde at the time, down to the Coolmore team and select Yates. Tell us a bit about that, Sean.
Well, her first foal was Milan Filly, and then, I don't know, Yates, I just loved Yates as a racehorse, and I went to see him, and I thought, you know, he's a stayer, and Lily Mile point-to-pointer, and she won 2 mile 4 hurl races, and she was a stayer as well, and I thought, Jenny, would that work? You know, maybe I'd have something that'd be as slow as a boat. And but look, I did it anyway, and the result was Flooring Porter.
And a fantastic result for yourself, I suppose, and it just proves you sold him as a foal, as you told me what you would do with a lot of your stock, and he was sold for 6,000. He was there for anybody to buy at that stage, and as a resulting the store sales as well, he was there for anyone. And I suppose by a twist of fate, being unsold at the store sale, he ends up with Gavin, and he ends up with a syndicate literally a number of miles over the road from you, owned by the lads, the Flooring Porter syndicate.
Absolutely, and I couldn't believe it when I met Carol Craven, who was one of the syndicate, and he said, I think he said, did we have a yoke you bred? And I said, what is it? Did you breed something by Yates and a mare called Lily Mile? I said, geez, I did, yeah. He said, we own him now. And I said, fantastic. And to add further to the story, Carol Craven's brother is married to a first cousin of mine, so
very good.
It's
all coming back to Galway. The pedigree doesn't want to leave Galway at all. But I suppose looking forward, we're a couple of days out from Punchestown now at this stage. He'll be one of the favourites for the week for the Stayers hurl. I'm sure you'll be watching on and hoping he can go and do the business again.
Absolutely. I mean, he won a Grade B in Navan, and then he went on to win the Christmas hurl in Punchestown, and then he went on to win the Stayers hurl in Cheltenham. He's had 3 in a row now. He's had 2 Grade 1s in a row, and it would be absolutely fantastic if he could win again next Thursday.
Sean, just I suppose finally on the mare, she's actually away at Stud at the moment. Tell us where did you go this year with her?
I've gone back to Yates.
It was an easy one to solve this year, so it was. And any other stock on the ground by the mare, Sean, to look forward to?
Yes, I have a yearling filly by Elusive Pimpernel, a lovely filly. She's going to be a lovely big filly.
Very good. We want to look forward to over the store sales in a year or two's time. And I suppose, Sean, many would recognise you from being chairman of the Western Breeders Association. I suppose it's been a tough 14, 15 months now for the association and for everyone involved in breeding, between transport with Brexit and COVID and one thing and another. And the Breeders Association deserve to be commended for their work. Last year at one point we were looking at being shut down potentially for breeding, with people moving and so on and so forth. But the Breeders Association worked with the government and the Department of Agriculture and make sure it was kept on the road. So I suppose from a lot of people, well done on that. And looking at the Western Breeders now, with yourself being chairman, it's great to see you getting a great result for yourself. There's a lot of breeders now in the West of Ireland compared to a number of years ago, Sean.
Oh, absolutely. And look, all I say to any breeder is, stick with it and never give up hope, because you never know where that good horse is going to come out of that you bred. And look, it's brilliant to breed a winner. That's what we all start out to do when we bring the mare to stud, is to breed a winner. But it's fantastic altogether when you go up the line and breed a graded winner or whatever. But it's a patience game, and you just have to stick with it. And I'd like to say as well, look, at the Irish Thoroughbred Breeders Association have been brilliant in the fact that we could breed all through 2019. And I mean, everybody said, oh my God, the fall sales, especially in the National Hunt, there'll be nothing for them, no one will want to buy them. And it was probably one of the best National Hunt fall sales ever.
It was, Sean, and looking forward, I suppose, with the results at Cheltenham, there was 28 races in Cheltenham, 20 of them were Irish bred, and that's through the hard work of all small breeders right across the country, the man with the 1, 2, 3, 4 mares, and that's what's keeping it going and keeping the dream alive, and supported by the Breeders Association. Is absolutely brilliant. Sean, just from everyone at Racing's Inside Track TV, would like to wish you all the best. Hopefully there's another Grade 1 win coming for Florence Porter on Thursday and for the local syndicate here in County Galway, and very well done. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks very much, Tom. Thanks.